Hello and welcome to this webinar for New Brunswick businesses. My name is Thomas Affi and I'm the CEO of Conseil économique du Nouveau-Brunswick, a network of entrepreneurs and businesses that aim to propel the New Brunswick economy. And if you're watching this video, it means that you're in business in New Brunswick and you're looking for answers to questions for your business, as well as we're all facing an unprecedented situation due to COVID-19. These are very difficult times for you and your business, but you're not alone and we're here to help you. And as the saying goes, that we go further together, this series of webinars that we have launched last week is a product of a collaboration between Conseil économique, Opportunities New Brunswick, CFIB, the New Brunswick Business Council, and the Atlantic Chamber of Commerce, and many other partners and networks. The objective of these webinars is very simple. One video every week with a panel of experts to answer questions on subjects and matters that are important for you. However, I must admit something, is that we will not be able to answer all your questions, rather the ones that are frequently asked and the ones that you will share with us. So please, feel free to share your questions in the comments below or on social media or by contacting us and contacting ONB directly with your questions. This second episode of this series is dedicated to questions about provincial and federal relief measures available to businesses. And today, I am pleased to be joined by a great panel of experts and people who have great information to share with you and to support you. I'm joined by Marc Babineau, Development Officer with ACOA. Hi, Marc.
Good morning, Thomas.
Thank you for being with us. I'm also joined by Rick Lloyd, Director of Strategic Accounts with ONB. Hi, Rick.
Hi, good morning, Thomas.
Hi, and thank you for being with us. We're also joined by Rachel Bernard, Workforce Consultant, working in NB. Hi, Rachel.
Good morning, Thomas.
Hi. And last but not least, we're also joined by Mathieu Godet, a project analyst with CBDC Westmoreland Albert. Hi, Mathieu.
Hi, Thomas.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being with us and for being available to join us, but also to share information to help our businesses. So now, without further ado, I will leave the mic to Marc to share with us information with respect to the federal measures to support businesses. Marc, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Thomas. Welcome to all. First, I want to thank the organizers of the series for the leadership you've been providing to businesses at this crucial moment in time. If you've been following the news, you know that there are multiple measures and initiatives and financial assistance programs that are being made available. These programs are gradually being rolled out as we speak, and to say it can be overwhelming to navigate through these would be an understatement, and we know this. This is why the federal government has gathered this information under one website. So if you do go to canada.ca and you click on the beige square that says Canada's COVID-19 Economic Response Plan, you will find information on support for individuals, support for businesses, and support for industries. And I also know that the provincial government is doing the same, and my colleagues will inform you in a few minutes on their respective information sites as well. I want to address a few things around federal government assistance without going in depth on the individual initiatives too much. The first thing that I'm going to say is make sure you monitor this government assistance that's available for you on a daily basis. It changes and is updated every day. And I want to give you a couple of clarifications on some of the programming. First of all, concerning the Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy, there's been a few questions on that. It was initially 10%. Through feedback and through the realization that maybe wasn't enough, it was increased to 75% of salaries for a period of 3 months, retroactive to March 15th. I want to address one issue around that, is to make sure that you know that organizations that do not qualify for the 75%, the Canada Wage Subsidy, may qualify for the previously announced subsidy of 10% remuneration that was to be paid from March 18th to June 20th. So if you don't qualify for the 75%, you may still qualify for that 10%, but please go to the website and have a look at the criteria. The next one I want to talk to you about is the Canada Emergency Business Account. This is where you will find provisions for a guaranteed line of credit of up to $40,000 to small and medium-sized businesses and not-for-profit organizations. They must have from 50,000 to 1 million in salaries in 2019 to qualify. To repeat, this is a line of credit. This line of credit will be for a period of 1 year. After 1 year, it will be converted to long-term debt until 2025. If it is paid out, if it is paid off before December 31st, 2022, 25% of that loan can be forgivable. So we need to realize that when you are engaging in that loan. Interest will begin only on January 1st of 2023. In order to apply, contact your financial institution. For these programs, as for the CRB that we've talked about, where you may be eligible for $2,000 per month as a result of having lost your income, we recommend that you make sure that you have access to a few things in order to prepare. The first thing is my account through CRA. Make sure that you have your username and password and that you're not locked out and you are duly registered. So make sure of that first. Second thing you want to make sure is that you are set up for direct deposit, because this will be the way that money will be given to you. The third, if you're a company, make sure that you have your financial statements in hand when you're applying, because there will be some information you will have to provide at that time. And last but not least on this is make sure if you're applying for some of these programs that you have your summary of your remuneration T4 statement. So make sure that you have that in hand when you're applying. Another program that I want to bring clarifications to is the Business Credit Availability Program, which is loan guarantees for small and medium-sized business through EBC, and co-lending program for small and medium-sized businesses through BDC. These programs will be available for the 3 weeks that follow March 27th, and again, you will be applying through your financial institutions. There's a few things that the financial institutions have indicated to us that will be important for you when applying for these, and you can prepare for this now before you actually present yourselves to your financial institutions. The first one is we strongly recommend that you engage in cash flow planning, meaning make different cash flow scenarios in order for discussion with them to proceed without too many interruptions. So if you're clear on what your cash flow needs are, then it'll be a lot easier. So with this respect, why you need the money. So in other words, did your revenue reduce because your sales are down? Is there needs arising and increasing because you're producing more to provide services at this time? And also what it will be used for. So what do you intend to use this money for? Last but not least, obviously, they will be asking the question, which might be a difficult one for you right now, but you do need to think about it, is how you will repay this loan. The one thing that I can tell you when you are navigating these programs, and there's a lot of them, again, like as I mentioned before, when you're navigating these programs online, write down your questions so that when you call us, we can be clear on what it is that is these clarifications. And we urge you to contact us if you do have any questions at 1-800-561-4030. That's 1-800-561-4030. And we have people who will be able to guide you and answer some of your questions relating to the assistance. The second question I want to address this morning is what would you suggest we do in preparation for the aftermath? Well, I have to say that I am absolutely, and I've had the opportunity to talk to businesses during the last 2 weeks, and I'm absolutely impressed with the positive and proactive response from companies in New Brunswick. I can tell you entrepreneurship is alive and well in New Brunswick, and the stories we hear are both encouraging and inspiring, to say the least. And the thing about entrepreneurship is that we thrive in situations like this. You may not realize it now, but entrepreneurship is a risk in itself at the best of times. And when you think about it, you've been training for this all your lives without even knowing it. So all the qualities of entrepreneurship that you have, you are being asked to bring them forward at this time. One of those is actually being a manager. So a manager creates plans, coordinates the resources to carry out the plans, and actually monitors those plans and adapts them. So this is absolutely required at this time. Companies almost need to act as a startup and question all aspects of their business model. For example, finances, cash flow planning. You need to be looking at all the possibilities and all the effects that are present right now in your company. Human resources. Are you talking to your employees? You see, leaders, you create the environment for other leaders to thrive. And let's create an environment for people to step up. Your organizations need that at this time. And your people need that at this time. They are looking for some way they can contribute and have value. Follow up with your employees like you would follow up with your clients. Going into this, one of our major business obstacles was availability of human resources. That issue will still be there on the other side of this. Plan for it like you plan for cash flow. Your employees need to see and hear and feel your passion for thriving through the situation. So engage in that practice. You might be invited to change some of your products, change some of your services, and you might be adding some, you might be reducing some. Your supply chain, are you talking to your suppliers? Have you secured a supply chain? Do you have a backup supply chain? If you need to examine some of these, we do have an organization within our ranks that's called the Canada Business. And Canada Business can help you identify suppliers, identify crucial elements in your supply chain. You can reach them at the following number, 1-888-576-4444. And they can help you with that crucial aspect of your supply chain. 1-888-576-4444. Concerning your clients, your target markets may change, your clients may change, and the sales process is changing as well. You need to check on your existing clients and are they buying? Will they be buying? Will they be there when on the other side of this? And your relationships with them, they need to know that you're there for them. Basically, you're a problem solver for them at the best of times. That's what you do. That's what business is. They have a need, and you have a solution, whether it's a product or service. Maintaining this relationship and creating new relationships is a crucial first step. So then you can talk about the possibilities and then take action. So you need that basic information in order to make those decisions and take those actions. Your marketing strategy may change, probably will change. Another thing that will change is your health and safety standards. Coming out of this, some things will change for you, for your suppliers, for your clients. Your distribution channels, how you get your products and your services to your clients will also change. So you need to give thought, and that's something you can do right now. It will be modified as to the way that people access them. You might modify your hours. You will also more than likely modify some of your processes, whether you're a fabricator or whether you're a service provider. Some of your processes will change. We see it now. We experience it if we go out to the grocery store now. We see the processes change. Your processes will change as well. So now's a good time to start thinking about that and start implementing those. Strongly advise that you reach out to some of your colleagues in the business world and get informal advisory boards, get creative, get talking about what you possibly could do. Last but not least, what role can government play beyond programming and funding to assist companies? I can tell you that for ACOA, we're all working. My colleagues and I, we have a dedication to your success. We will be there when and how you need us to be. We are not only deliverers of programs. There's an incredible talent and there's an experience that is out there and is at your service. Who these people are, I talked about the Canada Business at 1-888-576-4444. But there's also frontline economic development officers there that are in district offices around the province, and they are there to help you as well. And you can reach them at 1-800-561-4030. So if you need program information, 1-800-561-4030. But they can also help you with, of course, programming, but also the planning process that we just talked about. They can help you look at innovation potential and the possibilities that exist there. Digitization, if you weren't digitizing before, if you weren't engaged in digitization of your organization before, you might want to consider it on the other side of this pandemic. Also automation, productivity improvement, and it's going to sound surprising, but trade. We are still trading with the US, and we will be trading with other countries on the other side of this. Planning these trade activities can happen now, and we are there to help you with that as well. You know, we're supported in an incredible way to the front lines here by amazing people, and in the shadows, we also have amazing people who merit my recognition and my absolute respect for making sure that we all not only stay afloat and continuation, but our engines are max power, and we really want to make sure that you know that we're there for you. I'm very proud to be part of this group of individuals that are dedicated to your success, and we look forward to engaging with you through this and beyond this in the future. On that note, Tamal, I give you the microphone right back.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much for this presentation on the aspects when it comes to the federal measures available to business. There's a lot of prep work to be done prior, to get ready for some of that support. Thank you for those tips and advice that you shared with us as well. And I would definitely, we'll make sure to share the phone numbers that you've communicated along with this video and the presentation, and invite people to contact you, and business owners and businesses to contact you if they have further questions with respect to the federal measures. Now our second presentation is from Rick Lloyd from ONB, and we will hear about the measures that are available from the province, of New Brunswick. So Rick, the mic is yours, and I'll load up the presentation.
Perfect. Thanks, Thomas. The first question that we had was specifically, what assistance is the provincial government providing to support businesses that are impacted by the effects of COVID-19? So the provincial government will be providing up to $50 million in support for small, medium, and large-size enterprises. The support is intended to be complementary with the federal economic measures that were recently announced, and will attempt to address some of the potential gaps that could be in those measures. This support will be in the form of interest-bearing loans. We will have some flexibility in the repayment schedule to try to support your companies during the initial period until the effects of the COVID-19 crisis start to wane a bit, so that we're looking to trigger the payment when you actually have the ability to start repaying again. For small businesses, the support will be administered through a trusted financial partner that has the reach to effectively administer the program in all regions in the province. We should be having some announcements early next week, so we're hoping to get that program rolling as quick as possible. For the mid to large employers, Opportunities New Brunswick will be administering the applications for potential working capital support. That being said, we are in a position now to be considering some of these. So if this is a situation that fits your current status, please reach out to either some of the ONB staff that you may have dealt with in the past, or the navigators. Will be providing that number and contacts at the end of the presentation. Now, obviously, one of the questions that everyone is dealing with is, when will these programs start rolling out? So ONB is working with the Regional Development Corporation to finalize the process that we're working with the financial partner who will administer it. As I mentioned before, this should be early next week, so please keep an eye out, or if you're talking to the navigators, we're collecting your information and we'll forward everything out to you once this is available. We understand the urgency to move quickly. What we're looking at, we recognize we want to be complementary with the federal programs. Given the timelines, we're trying to be flexible, that if they're not ready to roll out yet, we're trying to work with that within the system. So it's really going to be a matter of communication with the company, communication with us, and trying to coordinate everything so that it actually, the support you need can get to you. What will be, the second question is, what will be the criteria, or the third question, to get these loans? So we want to really reiterate, there is not a specific criteria that we use to determine who is approved, who is rejected. ONB and our partner organization will be focused on the main situation will be, was your company viable before the COVID-19 outbreak, and the assessment of, will your company be viable afterwards? This ultimately is what we're looking at. The assistance that we will be providing is not going to be used to address issues that were in place with your company prior to. We're not looking to use this funding to support business expansions. We would look at those things normally, and especially we're not looking to prop up a company that wasn't viable before going into this. So, for these specific programming, we're just looking at the impacts of the virus. As I had said before, we obviously would look at any traditional program, be it an expansion or different things that you're looking at, but obviously the focus of our entire organization right now is trying to support companies through this period of uncertainty. Obviously, we're still going to be looking at the normal program that we would be doing, but it really won't be a priority. We're looking to support companies with regards to COVID-19. That's our full effort right now. So the final question what can I do now to prepare for applying for assistance? So Mark has already touched on this, but ultimately, I think the province, the federal agencies, and your banks are all going to be looking for similar information. So while we're looking to hopefully have things rolling out early next week, and the federal organizations will be rolling theirs out as quick as possible, it's important to have all the information ready for them to save time. So in the meantime, we'll ask you to ensure that you've got the necessary information that we'll be needing. Some of this information would include ensuring your financial documentation is up to date, including your year-end financial statements. Ensuring your most recent interim financial statements are available, along with your accounts payable and accounts receivable listing. Mark also touched on this, but ultimately your cash flow, this is going to be the crux of the discussion. We're looking for your cash flow for the next 6 to 12 months in some form of a cash flow statement. Now, once we have this statement, projection, we're looking to understand what are the assumptions you use when you prepared this. Are you talking about reduced staffing levels? Have your sales dropped significantly? What are you anticipating in dealing with your suppliers? And are you expecting to have to pay them? Perhaps you're going on a COD status. Are your receivables going to be going longer? Are you thinking your inventory is going to move slower? So besides once you get the cash flow, we really want to understand how has this affected your business from the normal it was before going into this. Ultimately, kind of a standard thing is we want you to understand the working capital position and need. If you're not super strong in this, perhaps try to work with your accountant or other people to support you, but it won't be ONB or the federal partners or the banks who's saying necessarily, this is what you're eligible for working capital. We want you to understand. Once we're comfortable that you understand and it makes sense, we're looking to help, but ultimately this is your responsibility. We also asked for the provincial funding. We're focused on this being a complementary. We are not expecting to handle, if there's a gap of X amount, we're not anticipating that the province will be addressing the entire amount by themselves. We're looking for the federal programs to be involved. We're expecting your bank to be involved. We're expecting potentially, whether it's EDC or BDC, we're looking for this to be a partnership. We're looking for this to be a shared risk amongst everyone, including the owner. So in the meantime, reach out to them. We recognize not everyone's ready to implement the programs, but we are expecting that you have made that reach out, you're on their list, you've got the basic information. So that is primarily kind of a summary of what you could be doing at this point. As I said, ONB is currently accepting applications for the larger companies. And then again, early next week, we'll have the system set up for the smaller companies on how to be dealing with those requests for loans. Initially, if you don't have a direct contact with ONB based on previous experience, we'd ask you to reach out to our business navigators. The phone number is 1-833-799-7966. So again, 1-833-799-7966. And you can also reach out by email. It would be nav@navnb.ca, so nav@navnb.ca. Thomas, thank you very much for the time to present this, and to all the companies who are out there going through this, thank you for the efforts, and hopefully we can everyone pull together to get through this situation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rick. Thank you for the presentation, and just showing on the screen right now a link where there's more information for businesses. Thank you for sharing the information, the support that ONB can provide to our New Brunswick businesses, and as well as the phone number and the resource of the navigators who can definitely provide guidance and point businesses to the right direction and to the right partners to help them and assist them in this situation. So merci beaucoup. Thank you very much for this presentation, and thank you for ONB for the support to our businesses. Our next presenter is Rachel Bernard with Working NB. Rachel, the mic is yours.
Great, thank you very much, Thomas. And so here are the questions that are the most frequently asked lately, and as everybody else is saying, everything is changing so quickly, but for now, this is the questions that are being asked. So what can the New Brunswick government do for employers and their employees until the federal government's Canada's emergency response benefit is available? Well, the New Brunswick Workers Emergency Income Benefit is a one-time income benefit of $900, which is available for workers or self-employed people residing in New Brunswick or have lost their jobs due to the state of emergency. The benefit will help to bridge the gap between when a person lost their job or closed their business on or after March 15th, 2020, to when the national benefit takes effect. The benefits will end, although they will end on April 30th, 2020. The benefit is offered by the government of New Brunswick in partnership with the Canadian Red Cross. The applications are now open, and as you can see, the website is on the bottom of this page, so you can go to www.gnb.ca. And the next question, who qualifies for the New Brunswick Workers Emergency Income Benefit? Well, if you're an individual and have lost your job, been laid off on or after March 15th due to the state of emergency in New Brunswick, or you are self-employed and have lost all revenues through self-employment on or after March 15th due to the state of emergency in New Brunswick, you earn a minimum of $5,000 gross earning in the last 12 months or the last calendar year. The income of at least $5,000 may be from a combination of the following sources: employment, wages and benefits, self-employment, employment insurance, including maternity or parental benefits. Or you have applied or plan to apply for support through the federal government, either employment insurance or the Canada Emergency Response Benefit. You are a resident of New Brunswick, or you are 18 years or older. So the next question, who does not qualify for the NB Workers Emergency Income Benefit? So if you answer yes to any of these questions below, that means you are not eligible for the benefit. If you're currently in receipt of employment insurance due to job loss that was prior to the state of emergency or unrelated to COVID-19, currently in receipt of social assistance, currently in receipt of old age security or a private, provincial, or federal pension, if you are currently in receipt of some form of income benefit, like salary, sick leave, disability insurance, workers' compensation, etc., to compensate for the temporary loss of all income unrelated to COVID-19, or if you're currently incarcerated in a federal or provincial institute. So the next question, what is the application process for the New Brunswick Workers Emergency Income Benefit? Well, you start by completing the online registration form so that we can validate your identity. You will then receive an email confirming that we have received your request for registration. Once your identification is validated, you will receive a second email containing a link to the application form for financial assistance. The email will be sent to you as quickly as possible. Check your spam also, your spam folder, because it might not be in your inbox. Once you've received your application, it will be reviewed in a timely manner. If your application for financial assistance is accepted, the one-time payment will be made by a bank transfer. You can also apply by telephone by speaking with the Red Cross, the Canadian Red Cross agent, at 1-800-863-6582 from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week. So the last question is, are the services that Working NB can provide to employers during the state of emergency? Yes, Working NB through Human Resources Support Service can support employers by having a dialogue about their current and future human resource needs. We can provide guidance to employers who may be faced with a temporary closure or a reduction in services during the pandemic. We can also support employers who find themselves having to hire additional staff. This can be done by using the virtual job fair. The technology is available and ready to go now. Employers are asked to call their local Working NB office. Contact information can be found at the Working NB website, which again is below on this on this page here at www.2.gnb.ca. And thank you, Thomas, for this work that you're doing, and thank you to the group. This is excellent.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Thank you, and thank you for the support from all the partners, including Working NB, and actually organizing and setting up these webinars to answer questions that businesses and employees have. So thank you, Rachel, for this information, and for the links and the contacts that you shared with us to allow our businesses to contact Working NB to get some support. And then our last presentation, last but not least, is from Mathieu Godet from CBDC. Mathieu, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Thomas. So just to mention, so for CBDCs, like you said, certainly all of our 10 offices across New Brunswick, we are getting several questions from the general public. And it's just to advise that each programs and services, they can differ from one CBDC to another across New Brunswick. And with the ever-changing situation, it is difficult to have a grasp of each CBDC's situation. So all that to say, if ever your question is not answered today regarding the CBDC or any of the other programs mentioned, certainly reach out to the appropriate department to have that answer. So the first frequently asked question would be, what type of companies the CBDC is helping during the pandemic? So CBDCs, typically we're looking at assisting and helping small to medium-sized companies, but we're not limiting ourselves to the size of the company per se. And I would say that the majority of our clients, evidently, we're looking at either people that are looking to start their own business, so startups, and also for existing entrepreneurs. The office that I work for, so CBDC Westmoreland, Albert, our territory is for rural areas within Westmoreland and Albert counties. But it should be noted that each of the other 9 CBDCs, they have their own territory. So all that to say, to come back to the question there, if you're a business owner, whether it's a new business owner or an existing business owner, and you're looking for either financing advice or even business training, please don't hesitate to reach out to your local CBDC. And that can be found, if you're not sure which CBDC is closest to you, you can find that information on our website, which is right next to my picture on the bottom right. So it's www.cbdc.ca. And just as a side note as well, I know on my side, similar to other folks presenting today, we have been in touch with several entrepreneurs across our territory, and certainly there are folks that are still looking to start their business. So if that is your situation, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Now, as far as, again, bringing it back to what type of companies we're dealing with during the pandemic, it is a little hard to say at this time because it is still relatively new. But we're certainly not limiting any type of industry. So just on my personal level as a project analyst with our office, I've seen applications or requests for information from a variety of industries, from the construction industry, so carpentry, plumbing, electricians. You're looking at restaurants, transportation, logistics. So really the point is that regardless of the type of industry you're operating in or where you are in the life cycle of a business, we're there to assist you. The second question that is frequently asked, what types of document and information the client needs to provide for a request? So this really, it does vary from one program to another, and also potentially from one CBDC to another, and every situation is different. And what I mean by that is, if you're an existing business versus a startup, the required documentation might differ a little bit. But I'd like to know that one thing is certainly constant, that it only takes an idea for you to give us a shout. So whether you're a startup looking to get things up and running, or if you're an existing business, and like Mark and ONB mentioned, maybe you're looking to diversify your operation to satisfy a never growing and maybe a changing demand for your industry, you can reach out to us. And I think that's really the outline here is if you're not sure, get in touch with us, and it's better for us to discuss your situation, see if there's any programs that could be a good fit. And at that point, to loop it back to the question, we would verify and confirm what type of documents would be required to submit an application. But again, generally speaking, I would say some documents that we could require. Most of our programs, there would be an application form. If you're a startup, we would require a business plan. Cash flow projections, again, not to sound like a broken record here, but certainly like other folks have mentioned, in these difficult times. It is something that's very, very important. And if you're an existing business as well, past financial statements, like mentioned by ONB as well, perhaps having your accounts payable and receivables ready and your accounting as up to date as possible. So again, mentioning all those documents, if ever some of you, you're looking for templates of any of those documents, specifically if you're looking for business plans or cash flow templates, feel free to visit our website, www.cbdc.ca. There's also the Canada Business Network that may be able to assist you with some templates on those things, or simply give us a shout, reach out to us and we'd be happy to send that off to you. And the last question that is frequently asked, how a client is expected to interact with CBDC officers during the confinement due to COVID-19. All of the 10 CBDCs, we do have project analysts such as myself, they're ready and willing to assist as best as possible. Our office, and I'd like to believe that most of the CBDC offices, we are working remotely. So if you're a current client of the CBDC, simply get in touch with your project analyst or your local office, and I would say probably by phone or email would be the best way to get in touch with someone. And if you're a potential or a future client, there's a couple of options. You can start by going on our website, www.cbdc.ca, just to locate the nearest CBDC to you. And then it's up to you. You can give us a call, send us an email, or you can simply send an inquiry form directly through the website. And that's pretty well it. I mean, look, thank you to everybody again for participating and everybody who joined us. And hopefully we were able to answer your questions. So take care, stay safe, and Thomas, back to you.
Merci. Thank you, Mathieu, for the presentation on CBDC and the support that the organization can offer to our businesses. So I would definitely invite people who are watching us and listening to us and watching us to contact you and contact CBDC, their nearest CBDC, for support. So thank you very much for this information. So a big thank you to all of you for sharing information and advice with respect to these measures, both federal and provincial measures that are available to businesses in these tough times. And as you can see, we were not able to answer all the questions that you might have. And as Mathieu mentioned, do not hesitate to contact our panelists. We can also leave questions on our social media platforms or contact ONB directly, and they will make sure to communicate those questions to the appropriate organization, and they will get back to you. I would like to remind you that there is a PDF of this presentation that's available for download, so that will be available to you. We invite you to share your themes and topics and subjects that you want to see in the next episodes. The team at ONB has prepared a table summarizing all the federal and provincial measures that have been announced as of today. And this table is available to download on the ONB website, and it will be updated as new measures are announced or if the current ones are being updated. Again, thank you to all of our panelists. Thank you for your time. I know you are very busy these days, and thank you also to all of the partners for their support in making these series of webinars happen. The next video will be available towards the end of next week. And finally, please do not forget to follow the directions and instructions and advice, practice physical distancing, and please take care. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you all. Be well.